Harvey is gone, but now insurance claims and disaster assistance requests are pouring in. FEMA is checking out the hardest hit areas and helping people register for disaster assistance. So now the big question, what do you need to do to qualify for help?
Joining us now is Peter Herrick from FEMA. I bet you're about the most popular guy in town right now. Big questions, of course, is what does FEMA cover and what does FEMA not cover?
Yeah, so we can help out with a lot of different things. We'll talk a little bit about some of the limitations that we have, but people can be eligible for damage to their dwelling if they own the home, they're mortgaging the home. We can help with stuff like that. We can also help with things like the property inside of the home. We can help with things like vehicle repair. We can also help with disaster unemployment through the Texas Workforce Commission. So there are a lot of things that we can help with, medical, dental expenses that people incurred because of the storm. And we can help people with temporary shelter as they start to try and rebuild their home.
And what you don't cover?
So there's a lot of things that we can't help with. We can't duplicate the other assistance you may be getting. So things like insurance, we want to make sure we're not stepping over those tones. And unfortunately, we're still going to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollar. So we want to make sure that we're not getting into that, and there are some portions where we may refer you to another area. The Small Business Administration can help with low-interest disaster loans, which for a lot of people are going to help bridge the gap between disaster and recovery.
And some people have lost everything. How much money are we talking here for, say, a household?
So the maximum grant that FEMA can provide to a household is $33,300. And I want to caution you by saying that most people will not hit that maximum.
Will not hit that maximum.
Right. And that's why they're going to receive a Small Business Administration loan application. And even though they're not a business, please fill it out. One, because we need that to process your application. But two, because there's a lot of resources there that are probably going to be necessary as you start to recover.
So as you talk about the Small Business Administration, what if you do have a small business? What do you do to get assistance? Do they come to you, the SBA? How does that portion work?
So for them, we're going to kick them over to the SBA. FEMA can only provide assistance to government, some nonprofits, and obviously we're mostly talking about individuals here. But the Small Business Administration has a business recovery center actually on the campus here at the University of Houston, and they're setting up a couple more in the area, and we're trying to get the word out on that as well.
What is the timeline? I mean, certainly people are really hurting, and of course people want action as soon as possible. What kind of, I guess, wait times should people expect through all this process?
So right now our phone lines are pretty backed up. We're looking at several hours wait time. So on the registration side, if people can go to disasterassistance.gov, that's by far the best option right now, or visit a disaster recovery center. There's one in Houston at the GRB right now, open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. So still a little bit of time for people. The other piece is after you finish your application, there's within 10 days, we'll try to have an inspector contact you to set up the inspection. After they do that, they'll funnel that information back to us. And once you're approved for assistance, we like to get the money to people within 48 hours. And we've been doing a pretty good job of hitting that mark so far.
That seems pretty remarkable considering the backlog and all the people that require help. That's pretty good.
Fortunately, getting the money out is the easiest part.
And just so folks know, in that interim, should they be holding on to receipts and all of that?
So before you start the cleanup process, document, photos, videos, all that sort of stuff. You've got to replace things like utilities. Absolutely keep the receipts on things like that. No, not only are we going to need it, but your insurance agent is going to need it as well. But after that, start the cleanup process. Don't wait for us. We all know how quickly mold can grow.
All right, perfect. Peter Herrick from FEMA, we thank you for joining us. And yeah, I know there are lots of people with many more questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you.